Starting with your feet in a nice parallel position, slightly tilting under with that bottom, making sure those hips are in alignment, and then fanning the feet open to a nice first position. Port-a-brawing those arms open to the side, palms down. We start with our swan. Beautiful. We're doing lots of repetition here, keeping those shoulders drawn away from the ears and lightly tapping those wrists at the top. Remember to keep a long neck, long from the crown of the head, and the core engaged with the rib cage closed. Now we're stopping the arms here about shoulder height, and we're keeping the movements light and airy. We have 6. Last 5, you can do this. Last 4, beautiful work. Last 3, breathe. And 2. And 1. We're gonna hold here, palms face back. We're gonna draw it in and press. In at the chest and release. Now the pinkies are up to the sky. We're keeping the shoulders drawn away from the ears. We're staying in that nice first position, and we are engaging the core. Very important to remember to listen to your body. These can be high repetition and they can be very difficult. So I want you to roll your shoulders up, back, and down if you're feeling too much stress in your neck. As you're doing these movements, you're thinking of long from the crown of the head, and you're paying close attention to your form. Gorgeous work. Reaching those fingertips up to the sky. Just a few more. Now we go palms, back, up, and press. Palms up, press back. Now you're truly feeling a little fire here. We're just focusing on up and back, up and lift. So as I'm taking them in, I'm still keeping my arms lifted. I'm not letting the elbows drop too far, but I am pressing back with the palms. Gorgeous work. Long neck, lifting and pressing. It's very natural to want to hold your breath, especially as things become more challenging. So do make sure to inhale, breathe, and exhale, release through your mouth. You can do this. It's difficult, but we can do hard things. Keep breathing, keep focusing on that good control in the core, and pressing up and back. And we are getting ready to move on to our next move. Down and reach. So now we're taking our high V movement here, and this should feel pretty good to your arms considering they've been up in that position for a while now. So I'm really just practicing pressing at the sides and then lightly floating them to a high V position. If the feet are feeling uncomfortable at this point, you can take them to a nice parallel position and even step them about a yoga width block apart. But if they're still feeling okay in this first position, stay there. Lift and breathe on your high V. Lightly tap at the sides and light touch on those weights. Beautiful controlled movement. That's where the change happens. Nice and slow. Breathing and releasing and keeping those shoulders drawn away from the ears. Now I'd like you to demi-plie if you're still in first position. We're going to go ahead and take our arms to the side and lift about shoulder height and then forward and lift. So we're just alternating here from side to forward. And we're in that nice demi-plie here. And once again, if this does not feel good to your body, you can come and step it out to a more wide parallel position if that feels better to your body. Always listen to your body. And we take forward, reach shoulder height, and we extend side here. Once again, we are doing high repetition and we are breathing through our movements, slightly tilting under with that bottom, focusing on the breath, focusing on the core, focusing on the tiny details that make all of the difference in changing your body. Getting ready to move on. Arms are low. We're lifting, low fifth to middle, release. Side, down, middle, and release. So we're taking a demi-plie down, we're lifting tight center, demi, and open. Demi, and tight, and demi, and lift. Good, stick with this pattern. Once again, we're doing lots of repetition, so you will be able to catch on if you're struggling a little bit. And I do encourage you to do this class a few times through. over and over until it starts to become a little easier. And then we'll add on with a new upper body blast. Beautiful. Lift and demi, center and down. Beautiful work. We're taking our feet in parallel now, and we're gonna lift up to our high fifth, releasing to our low. Beautiful. It doesn't matter which arm you start with as long as you are alternating this position. Step it a little bit wider in the legs if you need some more support. And oftentimes I will switch between center and a little wider just to kind of keep my mind working and taking away from the fact that this does burn a little bit. And it's meant to burn a little bit, but it's not meant to hurt you. So if it's feeling bad, reset, roll the shoulders up, back, and down, and catch back on with me. Beautiful. Important in this position here that we are not allowing the shoulders to come up towards our ears, that we are keeping them long and down and lengthened through the neck and the crown of the head. And now we take them up above the head. Step it a little wider if needed. We open, center, open, high fifth. Side, center, open, and lift. Beautiful work. So we're working shoulders and chest. We're working biceps here. What I love about incorporating ballet port-a-bras into classic barre fitness is there is a lot of muscle groups that you're working at one time. And it's a great way to be creative, have fun, and incorporate lots of different training styles. Center squeeze, high fifth breathe. Center, side, and lift. Beautiful work. Step it in. As I mentioned, I like to change my positions just so that I can take away from the fact that it is burning a little bit and kind of stay focused and in the game here. Now we curl and press. Now I want you to be extremely mindful here of keeping your core engaged, but also remembering to slightly tilt under with that bottom. Even though we are working the upper body here, our postural alignment is incredibly important, and it makes a difference on how we see the results in our own body. So for instance, if we're allowing our back to overly arch in this position, creating more of a curvature in our spine, we might not be as focused on our upper body as we need to be. So I want you to lengthen through the crown of the head. As you start to pulse this position, soften those knees, slightly tilt under with that bottom, close the rib cage, and breathe. Inhale and exhale. Tiny micro pulses here, squeezing those biceps in and release. Gorgeous work. It's in the details of the movement that make all of the difference here. Beautiful. Lift now and open. So palms forward, palms in, just as we did on our bicep curl. Stepping those feet a little bit wider. As I mentioned, I'll keep reminding you, I like to add a little bit of movement in the footwork here just to keep my brain moving, keep my mind active and away from the fact that this is hurting a little bit, hurting in all of the good ways. Open and press. Nice and controlled, slow movement. Gorgeous work at home. You can do this. The more you do this class, the easier it is going to become for you, and the more you're going to gain those good results. And now we're just up, pulse, and hold. Seems simple enough, but as you're doing this, you're paying close attention, as we've mentioned many, many times throughout this class, on your form. Form is going to look different on everyone. So your form might not look like my form, but it's important to keep those key ingredients together here. Up and hold, up and breathe. Gorgeous work. Step it in if you need to. Add a smile. It's very helpful. Lift and pulse. Tiny stop at the very height here. Last 2 pulses, and we're gonna hold. Now we're gonna go ahead and take a new move here. We're going to take it in, squeeze the chest, and up press the shoulders. Nice and slow and controlled. In squeeze, and up press. And again, in squeeze that chest, open those arms, and lengthen through the fingertips. In squeeze, and lift. How are we feeling at home? Hopefully you said good. Hopefully you said energized. Lift and lengthen. Squeeze, open, press, release. Squeeze, breathe, extend, release. You've got this. You are strong. You are capable of doing hard things. Absolutely incredible work. Stay with me here. This is how you change your body. All right, here we go. Right arm goes in, squeeze the chest, and press down with the shoulder. In, squeeze, press down. Now, even as I'm looking in my viewfinder of my camera here, I'm being extremely mindful that the non-working arm, even though it is working because it's holding that position, is dropping a little bit down. So you want to keep that elbow lifted up as you're working. You want to keep the core engaged as you're working so that you stabilize this position. It's a lot harder than it looks. And if you're doing it with me, you understand what I'm talking about. Having that body control as you switch sides, especially since that previously working arm is now feeling it a little bit, try to keep it lifted. Try to keep facing forward. Don't allow the body to twist out of its natural position here. Neutral spine, lifted from the crown of the head. Beautiful work. We are doing this together. I am feeling this as well. Squeeze center and open. Check in with yourself here as we're moving on. Now let's lift and just breathe here as we circle down. So just shoot the arms up. Inhale and exhale as you circle. Lift and shoot the arms. We're not trying to make a perfect movement here. We are just stretching those limbs and extending those arms. Beautiful. Lift and extend. Almost that feeling like you're swimming through water, that resistance. And if you need to set those weights just to kind of do a few more, please set them down. Beautiful. Now we're going to go ahead and take those arms back up as we work our biceps in this lifted forward position. We are just alternating here. As I mentioned, we don't need to worry about which arm we are starting with as long as you are alternating those arms. Very intentional with our movements here, nice and slow and controlled and deliberate. Very key. Keeping those elbows lifted, keeping that body nice and stable, softening those knees. Step it a little wider if you need to. Stay with me. Both arms in and both arms reach. Now, if you need to drop the arms down, you can take them down at the sides and simply do your hammer curls this way. If you're feeling fine in this lifted position, check in with your upper body and make sure that you're not allowing it to creep into your neck. Now we're going to move on to triceps here. So I'm going to hinge forward and then I'm going to rotate so you can see from the side. So pull those elbows back. I'm curling my toes as I row and extend, extension. Forward, reach, extension. Good. Press and extend, nice and slow. Head, neck, and spine are in a nice alignment. You're not allowing that chin to curl forward, putting any additional pressure on your neck or your upper back here. We are lengthened from the crown of the head. As I mentioned, deliberate with our movements, intentional with our movements. Now I am keeping some weight pressed into the back of my heels here and curling my toes up to the sky. Softening my knees, keeping my shoulders and my hips in the same alignment here as I reach and kick back for my tricep extension. On the up, squeeze the triceps. Beautiful work. Add a smile. Keep working and breathing through those movements. We are getting very, very close to completing this class. So you are strong and you can do it. Now we're facing forward, feet are in first position. We have our arms behind the back of our head here, and we are reaching and extending to our high V, working those triceps, squeezing and releasing. Beautiful. This is one of my most favorite exercises. I find it to be a true challenge here. And I always feel this afterwards. Not in a bad way, but I do feel like I've done some really good work. Most importantly here, to keep it slow and controlled, to lengthen as you face those palms forward, extending and bending. Beautiful. Great work. Hold here, round the arms, high fifth. We take it all the way down. We breathe and lengthen, nice and tall. And again, all the way low. And back up to your high fifth. Gorgeous work. Keep breathing up. Release down. And lift. Oh, this is one of my favorite exercises after doing this little arm challenge. It feels so nice. And here we go, bar stars, moving on. Demi-plie, arms are center. We're gonna alternate right, center, open, and close. Take it up, lift, center, and open, and close. Take it up, lift, shoulders down, center, and open, and close. And we lift, center, open, and breathe. Beautiful work, up. Take a little bit more of a demi-plie if you need to. And close. Switch, center. Beautiful. I've just added in a little bit of head work here just to keep it fun. But you don't have to do that if you don't want to. I'm just kind of following here with my arm and my head to the side and center. Lift and open. Beautiful work. Lift tall. Breathe. Open and close. And now the fun part, arms to the side for our little swan flutters. Now we're just flushing out those arms because we have done about 16 minutes, almost 17 minutes of work here. So we really want to just lightly flutter those arms. Oh, you're still feeling this, but it should feel kind of nice. Kind of nice. Tiny little floats. Soften those knees. Breathing through those motions as we lift now all the way, and then palms open. Palms out, palms open, and breathe. Lift and release. Gorgeous work here. Palms open. Dropping down to the side with a little breath of air as we reach back up to the top, lightly tapping those wrists. Lift and release. How are we feeling? We are almost done with this class. Just a few more little movements here just to get that last little bit of fire, and then we will stretch the arms. Now lift up here, slightly bending those arms. I'm just stepping in, just as I mentioned, to kind of keep my brain working here. Step in or out, whatever works for you. Shoulders, biceps, palms facing in. Long neck, long from the crown of the head, in and open now. Tap, open, and press down. Such a great movement here. I always feel this one. Stay with me because we are almost finished. Keep the shoulders drawn away from the ears. Give it a little flick of the wrists on the out. Twist and in. Beautiful work. Now, the hard part here, flex the palms in and flex. With intention, deliberate movements. I'm stepping out here. Soften the knees. Flex the palms. And flex, hold. Flex, hold. Tiny press here. Oh, you're feeling that nice burn, that nice little bit of fire. Inhale, exhale through the nose. You've got this. Just that little added flex here makes all the difference. Beautiful work. Flex, hold. Flex, press. Engage the core. Soften the knees. Shoulders drawn away from the ears. Hold. And we start to lower the arms down. Nice and slow, controlled. Beautiful job. Roll the shoulders up, back, and down with a nice deep breath. Step it together. Reaching that right arm forward, incorporating that thumb as you flex and stretch. Sometimes I just like to roll my neck here. Just a nice gentle roll. Beautiful. Open up that chest. Rolling those shoulders up, back, and down. And then just switching sides here. This feels nice just after kind of flexing and working those arms and holding those weights. Nice little circle, nice little release here. Close your eyes if you can. Open that chest, big breath, big stretch. And roll the shoulders up, back, and down. Step it a little wider here. Just reaching and crossing over the body. Adding just a little circle if you need it, stretching those fingertips. Little side reach. Stretch and release. Up and over. Close your eyes if you can. Add a little side stretch. Lift and lengthen. And switch. Little cross over the other side. I just like to open and kind of stretch those fingertips and those wrists. Beautiful. Open and stretch. Lift up. And pull gently back. Nice and gentle stretch here. Gorgeous work today. Nice big stretch. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you in my next video.